today I would like to talk to you about your soul family. I would like to talk to you about the characters and the roles that people are performing for you. I would like to talk to you about shifting out of victim mentality because I know that you've heard people talk about creating the reality that you desire. I know I have talked about creating the reality that you desire. But in order to do that, you have to be able to accept responsibility for your actions. Because if you still feel like things are happening to you, if you still are sitting in a victim mentality, oh, well, my girlfriend left me, it's her fault. Or I got fired, my boss is an asshole. Or my mom is a narcissistic, selfish, whatever, and she's making my life hell. You're in victim mentality. Because this is your reality that you are existing in. No one else's. Your blueprint that you carry with you, it can definitely be altered. We're at a point in time where we can alter our blueprints, completely change them if you so wish. But no one else has the ability to make you feel a certain way. Nobody else has the ability to definitely make you react a certain way. If you feel like someone has the ability to influence your reality, you're giving your power away. You are in victim mentality. It is time to step out of that shit. And this also goes for the more traumatic events that have happened in your life. Let's use sexual abuse for an example. And I'm sorry if this triggers you or anyone watching this video. Triggers are good. I used to hate triggers. Triggers are good because it shows you that there's something inside of you that needs to be healed. Triggers are good because it shows you that there are things that you need to let go of. So if this video triggers you, then I am sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Just kidding. I don't want to insult or belittle anyone. That's definitely not my intention. And I'm definitely not talking down your experiences. Because trust me, I understand that it could be quite traumatic. But what you need to realize, and if there are those that are watching this video and has suffered from any kind of abuse, sexual, verbal, physical, all of the above, I understand. Trust me, I understand. But what you need to understand on a level that might be hard for your human to comprehend is that you agreed to experience this before you incarnated down here. You agreed to this. Everything that you have experienced in your life, you have agreed to. If you feel otherwise, you're giving your power away. The perpetrators, the people that have caused you harm, the people who have broken your hearts, the people that have used you and abused you, they love you just as much as the people who signed up to support you. Your narcissistic mother, who may blame you for everything that's ever gone wrong in her life and projects her bullshit onto you, she, on a soul level, loves you. I will tell you just a short story before I continue on. When I started this journey, most of you know that I was raised Baptist. Very rigorously. Okay. I mean, I did the Bible drills. I was forced to go to church every Sunday, and if I didn't, I would be grounded. I went to a Christian school where I had chapel every Wednesday morning, even led the chapel. Praise and worship. Youth groups Wednesday night. I was in it. Okay? I was in it, and I got to the point where I hated it. Simply because it was forced upon me. But I agreed to that. So when I started this journey, And I became a Reiki practitioner. And it was Reiki level 1. I was dating a guy at the time, and I realized that I had the ability to heal. It's a little more complicated than that. Well, not complicated, but it's not something that we need to discuss right now. So what I was doing is I was taking his pain into me. Toothache, knee pain, anything. I could take his pain into me. Well, it hurt the hell out of me, right? That if anyone is still healing like that, stop it right now. That is not the way to go. So I Googled, and make a long story short, came across a wonderful, wonderful being who I am eternally grateful for, because she signed up to find me and help me. Well, I actually found her. But she certified, activated, whatever you want to call it, because we all have that energy within us. It doesn't necessarily even need to be attuned. You have the ability to do that. And I became certified as a Reiki healer. Reiki practitioner, I was so excited. I started doing sessions for friends and family, and they were not nearly as efficient and powerful as my sessions are now. And I'm not tooting my own horn, okay? I'm really not. Everybody has the ability to do what it is that I do, and I'm actually going to be putting out some sessions and some information in regards to quantum healing, which is what I do, because everybody has the ability to do it. And you're not channeling another energy from outside of yourself. I'll have to go into that later. So my mom, who is always supportive of me, I call her. And I am so excited. I am certified. I'm able to help people. I'm actually helping people. And I call her up and I'm like, Mom, this is what's going on. This is so exciting. I'm so happy. Do you know she basically disowned me? Disowned me. She got pissed. I don't know why religious people, and I was one of them. Trust me, I was one of them. I don't know why they get so angry when you challenge their beliefs. It's like you're so, and I was the same way, that's why I'm able to say this, so close-minded. And your reality is just like straight and narrow. And if anybody comes along and is like, hey, open your mind. There's a huge, vast world out there that you need to explore. It's like anger. No, you must not test my beliefs. So she basically told me that, and this is, I was summoning demons. And that's where I was getting my power from. And I joke about this now, but I was devastated when it happened. This was like 4 or 5 years ago. I was devastated because I thought I needed the support and approval of my mom. And she was definitely not supportive at all. As a matter of fact, she sent me a 7-page long email one time telling me that I needed Jesus and that she was scared for my soul. Because I was doing Reiki. And unfortunately, this is how most religious folk react. And it's kind of scary, you know? But I was really upset. And I was like, how is it that my mom thinks that I'm doing something wrong when I'm helping people? What demon, tell me, what demon do you know that you could summon? Hey, bro, hey, come here. We need to heal this person right here. We need to heal them. We need to clear their chakras, and we need to remove people like you off of them. Hey, let's get at it, buddy. You know, like what? What is the reasoning behind that? And that bothered me for a long time. But you know what? I wanted her to react that way. She agreed before coming here to react that way. She signed up to assist me in knowing that I do not need anyone else's approval of who I am, the choices that I make, and the life that I choose to live. No one else's approval. And what better, who better to learn that from than my own mom? Somebody that I felt and tried very hard growing up. Not nearly as hard as my dad, for his approval. But who better to teach me that lesson? Who better to hurt me so badly than my own mom? The same goes for sexual abuse. Do you know that you agreed to experience that before you came here? And the person that did this act to you, this atrocious act that has caused you pain and suffering for however many years, agreed to help you by doing this? Is that so hard to fathom? Is it so hard to fathom that your life has been mapped out from the very beginning? We're at a point in time now where we can throw the maps away. Once you get to a certain point in your journey and you don't need the roles and the characters anymore, you can throw the map out. You'll have your core blueprint that you can go in and change. And you can kind of look at that like a coloring book. I think is the best way that I have figured out how to explain to people is that you have your coloring book. You have the design that it comes with. And I know you can't see my hands, but design that it comes with. You can color whatever color you want, okay? But you're not supposed to color outside of the lines. It's messy, right? So you stay inside the lines in this coloring book. And there was a few of us, me included, when I was growing up, because I didn't give a shit about the lines because I was coloring everywhere. And it's kind of hard to color off the page, isn't it? But we're at a point in time now, that blueprint, that coloring sheet, you can throw away. Or you can actually alter the design that it comes with. But before, there was a path, many paths actually, and every single one of those paths has already been discovered in the grand scheme of things. Your guides and your angels, and you, if you have the ability to time and actually see this interdimensionally, then you would understand that you actually can see the outcomes to every single decision that you make. Because you literally create as you go. That's why there are so many parallel timelines and bleedovers if you allow it. You have the ability to block those bleedovers or collapse those parallels. I collapse timelines on a daily basis, sometimes 3, 5, 6 times a day, because I don't want any negativity to bleed over into my now. And if you want help in learning how to do that, then let me know. I might do a video about it. But if you understand that every single person in this reality is literally here to help you, because your soul signed up to come down here, whether you like it or not. There are many reasons that your soul could have signed up. I'm not even going to get into that now because I'm keeping this video short. The last video was like 40 something minutes. But if you can accept that every single thing that has gone wrong, I'll give you another example. The relationship that I was in before, I am not bad-mouthing him because I love him on a soul level and I am so grateful to him. I did see him as a horrible individual because of the pain that was caused from loving him. But we signed up for that. We agreed to that. He signed up to be emotionally unavailable. He also signed up to be very, I will choose my words wisely. And trust me, I was not perfect in this relationship either, because we both agreed to be assholes to each other. We always do. But there's so much growth that comes from that. So let's just say that this was a very toxic relationship that manifested in the form of a false twin flame. Do I believe in false twin flames? No. That's a human label. But let's just say that the relationship fit the bill of a twin flame relationship. Which is why I don't like that word at all. Because you see these articles out here, they are full of shit. They're full of shit. But he had signed up to be an asshole. I signed up to be a bitch. And if he would learn to accept the lessons in this, he would have tremendous growth as well. But I chose to see it from a higher perspective. I chose to take my power back. I chose to admit to myself that I am not a victim of any circumstance. I take responsibility for every single action that happens to me. Do you know that you cannot even be smacked in the face by somebody without having to agree to that beforehand? It gets a little more in detail on how these contracts work. But you also have the ability to step out of any contract. There are some that are layered. Trust me, because I thought that I had stepped out of the contracts between my ex and I. There was actually like layer upon layer upon layer of these contracts because we had been together for so long, so many lives. And we also knew that there would be much growth this life. So we basically piled on as many contracts as possible and things that we wanted to experience and learn. And I got rid of them after that they were done and completed. And there were still a few that were left, but I figured out that I can figure that out on my own. I don't need him in my reality, and I don't need to suffer anymore. I choose to live in peace. I choose to be happy. And so since acknowledging the fact that I am the creator and master of my reality, I have firmly set boundaries and don't allow anyone to do anything to me. That's why my life has been basically carefree for the last however many months. I don't have any negativity. The only issues I was having is with my child. And that's because we have contracts. And I'll talk about that later. But it's definitely been interesting. But I also see how that is coming into play as well. So the main point of this message is that your soul family, which everyone is technically considered soul family, we're all aspects of source. There are those that, like I said, have agreed to come in and co-create with you, have contracts with you, have signed up, whether it's because you did it to them in a previous life, whether it was because your soul wanted to experience that, whether it was because you wanted to experience it to understand and have the sympathy and compassion for others who have experienced something similar. You see many people who have been sexually abused go on to start and create circles and motivational speakers. It's because when trauma and suffering and pain happens to us, there's something that happens deep within. You realize that nothing can break you unless you give it the ability to do so. You realize that no amount of pain and suffering that you experience has the ability to hold you down. And when you break free from that, when you accept that in the grand scheme of things and from a higher perspective, you wanted to experience that, it gives you the power. It gives you the free will and the ability to create what it is that you want to create because you know nothing can take that from you. But until you accept responsibility, until you get out of this victim mentality, you're going to be stuck in your karmic patterns, your karmic loops, and you're going to continue to sit in your shit instead of transmuting it. And I'm not saying that every single person that watches this video is doing that. There are many that I see that are out of victim mentality. There are many that are still in it. So that's why I wanted to share this video with you. Because I know how freeing it was for me to discover that. It was hard in the beginning because you have to face yourself. You have to face the parts of you that you try to reject. You have to accept responsibility. And there are some that don't want to do that. It's too painful. They would rather sit in the victim mentality, complain, moan and groan instead of taking their power back and doing something about it. So I hope that you are able to take your power back. I hope that you are able to step out of victim mentality, and I hope that you are able to look at every single thing that you have experienced this life and even in past lives. Because there was a past life even I observing this past life and dealing with the emotions of this aspect, who had been maimed and tortured, and I'm not even going to get into details, but let's just say it was very hard for me to comprehend and accept in that energy that my soul wanted to agree to that, because we were a sage, we were a healer. And it was, I want to say, in ancient Roman times, simply because of the energy and some of the things in that timeline that I saw. But not only was I maimed and tortured, I was betrayed by my ex. And this now, actually, he was the one that was doing the torturing. Like I said, we always sign up to be assholes to each other. And my beloved, I guess what a human word would be twin flame, he actually came in as our child to try to warn me of my future demise, which was horrible. And this is just, it just goes to show you that everything you experience is a story. It's just a story. You could throw the story away and create a new one. So this story that we all chose to agree, because he, my ex, the man that tortured me in this timeline, he loved me. And the people that he worked for knew that he loved me. He didn't know that they knew. So they made him torture me, which, first of all, I don't care who you are, I would rather die than torture someone that I supposedly love. So let's just get that straight. And then after they maimed me, they maimed him. My son in that timeline, which was my beloved, went into hiding because he was just a child. I would say maybe like 7 or 8. Had to go into hiding. And they found him, brought him out, forced him to view his parents' heads on a stake because they made me an example. I knew that I had no business, or they felt I had no business helping and healing and spreading knowledge. And I didn't care. I didn't care. Because I knew that people needed help. And I wanted to help and heal. And I knew I was good at it. I did not think that I would end up, I knew it was an option. But I didn't think that I would end up on a table, tortured and then killed to leave my child alone. Who, by the way, they did not kill, they sold into slavery. I had a lot of healing to do on that timeline. That aspect still needs healing. But the point is that is just a story. Before you come down to this reality, you put stories in that coloring book that you want to experience. Rip the coloring book in half. Burn the pages. Start living your life as a creator, as a god or a goddess. And if you do not feel comfortable admitting that you are a god or you're a goddess, then you have some religious programming to remove. There is nothing wrong with admitting that you hold a spark of the creator, that you are created in the creator's image. So once you accept that you are the creator, master, ringleader, storyteller, once you accept this, then you have the ability to start working on yourself. Then you have the ability to start diving deep and realizing that you have a lot of inner work to do. The more inner work you do, which is facing your demons, admitting to yourself the things that aren't very pleasant, you free yourself completely. And then you're able to transcend the system. Because once you see this reality for what it is, you will not get caught up in it anymore. It's impossible. Once you have that knowledge, once you have the ability to transcend the system, there is not many people that would go back to experiencing the reality the way that they were before. I don't think that anyone once they figure out what victim mentality is and they're able to transcend that, I don't think anyone would want to go back into victim mentality. Because when you're out of victim mentality, you make shit happen. Shit doesn't happen to you. And once you've done your inner work and you break free from that bullshit constraint that you feel that you have on you, those cages and those shackles that you have around you, once you break free from that, there's no going back. Trust me. What bird, unless they have Stockholm syndrome, which that will be another video, because that actually, that could be a thing. It is a thing sometimes. That's another thing you have to transcend. What bird, though, if they have been caged and you free them, what bird is going to want to go back into that cage? I know I didn't. And I will never allow myself to be caged again. The people that I allow in my reality will not try to cage me. They will understand that it's much better to fly free with me than try to put me in a cage and get scratched and clawed and whatever else you want to say. But anyway, so shift out of that victim mentality. If you have any questions, give me a message, a private message. I was going to say call me, but I would prefer you not call me just because phone calls are draining. So send me a text message, send me a private message. If you need a clearing, let me know. I do have some free clearing sessions, and I will have a special going on until the end of the week, or the end of the month actually, till the 24th. Quantum healing sessions for $12.12. But I love you each, and I will talk to you soon.